don't have access. But thank you for joining our class today. So my machine still setting up all the requirement here to update the things. Okay. For today, we'll continue with the week 8 lab previously, especially for Burp Suite setup, right? Anyone have set up the Burp Suite successfully? Anyone? Have you set up your um, Burp Suite successfully? Because later you will use it for week 9, part of week 9 lab. Okay. I think that Burp has share at the week 9, if I'm not mistaken. Can you check your week 9? Okay, where is your lab? Here. Okay, this one, lab 9 already. Uploaded by the Hafiz. So I fixed the error for my Kali because we install a lot of things, then running a lot of command. There are some error, so I need to do some fix. Okay, but for today, try to see your week 8 back. Week 8 lab activity. So in activity 5, others will be sharing later, but this one for today, we try to setting up the Burp Suite proxy and try to do some basic scanner. Because later in week 9 lab, you will require to use this Burp Suite proxy and also the scanner, another component of Burp Suite. Okay, first of all, the Burp Suite is itself actually considered one of the most popular nowadays, the tools for application tester, especially related to specific domain of application where they will deploy based on specific subdomain, for example, right? Uh, Most of the time, you will be assigned a scope of work. And your scope of work normally, you only required to scan specific application with specific subdomain. For example, we have email.edu, mmu.edu.my, for example, right? And this EBY, for example. So you only required to test eby.mmu.edu.my. So other than that, maybe out of scope, right? So if you see there are some intercommunication, um, connectivity or interdependencies, you need to report. But your scope only specific app. And then for specific application also, they are depending on how many features they have, how many big the application. Sometimes the third party or the pen tester company, they will ask you how many pages. You need to know how many pages you need to test, right? More pages, more cost, okay? Will be fine. This is the thing. For example here, if they ask you to test EBYs, there are more pages in term of user, then admin may be different, faculty may be different, depend on different roles as well. So for today, we'll configure the community edition, all right, in Kali. But later once, if you, let's say you will become the professional pen tester, they are advisable that you subscribe for professional version. Last time I subscribed only one license for my staff, but later we try to have more, because only one person in one time may be a bit different in terms of testing part, where normally there are new application they want to deploy, but they give us very limited time. So it's a bit difficult, so that we need to have two or more pen tester to test or to carry this task, right? Okay, and this is the general idea, the difference between community edition and professional edition. So we're using the free one just to give you exposure how this Burp suite work in application testing. Normally they call it web application testing, and then they also use it in the mobile-based application. But the mobile, normally you can charge more because you require more deep knowledge. Okay, because they will test not only that APK or that particular mobile application, and then they need to test also server-side application. Depend on the complexity of application. So part of it, you see here for community edition, boundary scanner is not built in, but there are some scanner you can put as a passive scanner. But for professional edition, they come up with automated and manual scanning, more powerful, more info you can obtain. So make your work easier and faster compared to community edition. That's why this is the business. So the business required cost, and then if they give you everything free, they cannot sustain, right? And then but intruder function. So although in community edition, intruder function is there, but they have limited, they call it throttle lah, very slow. It's look like your bandwidth right after you complete, or you finish 5 gig, then your speed will be slower. This example. For professional edition, normally they don't have cap, so that you get a maximum speed every time you run it. Then project saving, and then also Burp collaborator, they have some different. And then for extension, you can have the extension, very basic extension manually for community edition, but for pro edition, normally they will come up with their own store extension. You can choose what type of extension you want to work on, right? So this is the summary. Which one should you use? As student, okay lah, still okay, because we just want to see the to expose you how this work and what are the features actually can utilize. So they contain all the essential manual tools, proxy, repeater, decoder. This is the commonly used right, inside the Burp suite. Okay, we have only 1 hour and a bit more, right, to cover. But if you are interested to become a pen tester, you need to study more depth in Burp suite itself, because Burp suite have some features where you need to explore more, and then they have also a bit like hooks and also trick to make your life easier. This one, you not only become professional pen test, but for bounty hunting as well, right? And so on. These are the things for Burp suite. Now, to make I complete this. Okay. Good. All right. Now 16 of you. Can you open your Burp suite, because in your lab 5, right? week 8, activity 5 here. So you need to install and configure. However, if you using your Kali, it's there. Your Kali is, that's meaning that your Kali already pre-installed with the Suite Community Edition. If you are running Ubuntu, for example, currently you are running your application on top of your Ubuntu virtual machine, so you need to install from scratch. Okay, but for Linux, you already have this. But you need to do some setting later, and how to set the browser, the external browser as your platform. Okay, now listen carefully. This is the important part. Maybe there are some video from internet you can follow as well. First, you open your Burp Suite inside your Kali. Burp Suite is there. Burp Suite. This one. This one. Digital forensic, right? This one does buster our enumeration tools. Okay, Burp Suite here. Click. So you will be the communication will be pop up. Can you open now? Maybe you try to follow step by step. But for those that successfully configure, no issue. This one just to give you exposure how you can starting up your Burp Suite before you can use it to do pen test. Okay, this is the version 2026 version. Because I update already. So by default, maybe for this work, you didn't require to have to set up the project whatsoever, because we just use as a temporary project in our memory. So it's advisable that you can increase your Kali Linux memory. Last time I reduced to 4 gig because of we need to run multiple virtual machine including Windows. But for today, I increase it to 8 gig again because I know they will require some additional memory, but at the same time I can run my DVWA virtual machine as a vulnerable web services. But DVWA you can assign 2 gig enough because they didn't require user interface only. This one, okay, command line. This is my DVWA web service because I not installed on top of it, on top of my Kali. Okay, for this one, just click next. Just accept the default configuration. This is also select the configuration that you would like to load for this project. No need to have a customized setting or configuration. Just use the default one. First one to setting up. Only start the Burp. If you want to make it yourself familiar with Burp Suite, you can find the introduction course and then intermediate course and then professional course. So step by step. Okay, this is the default page, right? Temporary project. So you can see there are many menu here. So be careful. No worry, later we'll see the important part. For example, the important part will go for proxy, the intruder, repeater. Maybe this one no need. So the most importantly, we use proxy first. Okay. So this proxy normally will use the external browser. You can use their own browser. That means browser like this. You can open the browser where the browser built-in browser. That means the port swinger browser. Okay, which developed internally by the port swinger or the company own of this Burp Suite. But normally, pen tester will use the outside or the external browser, they call it. So to use the external browser, you need to setting up the proxy, right? This is intercept off first normally. So you need to open your default browser. For example, here in Kali, we are using Firefox. But if you're setting up your Burp suite in Windows, maybe you're using Chrome or Edge. So you require that default or normally your familiar or favorite, your favorite browser to work on, right? So that you can use the proxy plugin, right? So for this one, most of the time you can use Foxy proxy, the name. Foxy proxy. Can you follow this one? There are a lot of video of a lot of video, but try to understand what you need to do first so that later you can continue with your work. Maybe your application, later your assignment, you can use this approach as well. Until now, clear? So find the Foxy proxy standard. Okay, this one I already have it, but I disable it. So maybe to make it start, I just remove. Okay, I remove back things, and then I will add again to my Firefox. Okay, and then you click allow extension to run in private windows. Add. Then okay, Foxy proxy will added inside this one. Okay, but now disable lah. So after you add the proxy, Foxy proxy, there are a lot more proxy add-on lah. But this one, the compatible version of Firefox, there are more, right? If you want to use, for example, Foxy proxy for Chrome, and download it for Chrome. This one for Chrome. Okay, this one you are using Firefox, depending on your favorite browser. Now, once you have the proxy plugin, right, add-on, call it extension or whatsoever, so you can create your own proxy depending on the port, depending on the address that you want, right? Maybe we have 2 or 3 tools that you want to use a proxy. Then this is also possible. You can select multiple proxy. But for today, we only want to add one proxy. Add, for example, this one, you just name it Burp. Burp host name. Okay, the host name here, you need to check by default the lookup, loopback, right? Loopback address here. Setting, click proxy setting in your Burp suite. You can see the address here. 127.0.0.1, and then 8080 is the port. Okay. So just put it again. Type HTTP. Okay. You choose this one if you want to use HTTPS. Depend. But this one is HTTP using 80 port 80. Okay. Now clear this one until here. You can click save. So meaning you already have your Burp suite here. right? So you can try to run it. Is it? Copy. So yes. Okay, now your Burp Suite, okay, using 127.0.0.1 Until now, you get this? Anyone having issue to get this? Burp? So what else you need to do before you can activate or use the Burp Suite? You need to download the certificate, okay, from CA, Certificate of Authority. This is certificate from Certificate of Authority. This actually used when you required to communicate with server, right? Server required your own certificate. So in order to make sure the server trusts your browser as a normal or as a authentic users, you need a certificate. Right? This certificate can be downloaded here, right? You download, then you can see this. I already have many certificate here. So no issue. When you download, you will get certificate inside your machine. So what you need to do when you have the download the certificate, you need to setting it as your browser certificate. This is your browser. You click setting. Okay, setting. This is setting. So you need, maybe you can find the certificate here. So from the authority, it's on the built-in one. But you need to import from the certificate that you download. I already have this lah, right? Anytime then you open for you. If new version, no issue lah, because this one already installed as a certificate authority. So meaning you will be trusted since you are part of the certificate authority uh, authentication, right? Okay, that's me. I already have the certificate and I click OK. Next, what you need to do, go back to your document, click it. So this one done. This one configuration. If you can find this one, you can use as well. If you're using Chrome, a bit different here. Now you have import already the certificate for HTTPS traffic. And then you can enable the interception. Okay, try to enable the interception. Step 3 here. Make sure your interception on and intercept. Okay, this one in proxy intercept. So they have multiple menu here, 2-3 layer of menu. So proxy intercept on to make sure this color meaning intercept is on. This one lah. So meaning that the browsers that you use will be the communication of the browser will be intercept before you can forward to the server. That means when you want to log in or you want to view or browse, the browser will be intercept first before they can send it to the real server for requests. So this one intercept on. What you need to do, you visit localhost in browser. If you install on top, install your DVWA, for example, you visit your local host in your browser. But for me, since last time I'm using external server, you see already, when I open, they already have some requests from Mozilla advertisement itself. But now I want to visit the DVWA web server. Okay. This one, to create this session ID and so on, right? So this is the interception. So meaning the request is there to get some info from HTTP, but still not forwarded, right? If I forward it, then it will go to this. Because I already log in, so I just required to log out first, log out, forward in, log out. Because the Burp now are running, right? The set off again. So now in the main page, because I want to see the default page. So I intercept again. Refresh. You can see this is the login page, default info, right? Without any username password entered, because I did not enter anything else, right? So from here, you will see some info like login.php, yes, and then the host, local host, but I'm using my web server, and then the user agent here, same, right? And then I have a station ID. It is in my PHP session. If you know the PHP session, maybe you can do some sort like PHP injection, session injection and all this. So if the web server is not secure enough, you can inject your own session. And then here you need to modify request, change parameter and headers. Then click forward to send. Intercept login request and modify username from admin to test. Example here, I know the correct username and password, admin and password, right? So when I click login, so post here, you can see next will be post. I click send, meaning I will post to that particular server, but already intercepted, not yet successful because I've not forward to the server. I only intercept whatever user that did here. So I can see username, admin, password. But in this document, they require you to intercept the login request, modify username from admin to test, and change password parameter, observe the response. Okay, so I put test, also put example, change password parameter and observe server response. This one you can change the parameter, the header, right? Maybe the header here, you can find Sample header next time. Okay, what happened when you modify credential in transit? Does it bypass authentication or not? So what happened when you do this? You can forward the info to the server. What happened to the application? Nothing, right? You see, login failed because why? Username and password is not available. That means the user is not available. When you forward the request with uh, unavailable credential, then login fail. This is the response. Server respond, login fail. Change password running. So what happened when you modify credential in transit? Does it bypass authentication or not? Is it bypass or not? At this level, from this login fail response. You can find here all the requests need to write. The cookies. So from this current information, meaning that your credential in transit modified and cannot bypass. At this level, cannot bypass. Because why? We don't have any other measure. We just try and error. So we try to use specific or different username and password, meaning that username and password is not available in the database, then login fail until now. Right. Now, next stage, we will use Burp repeater. We will send to repeater, right click, intercept request, intercepted request to send to repeater. This one, right? Send to repeater. You see, there are many menu. So for the first time, maybe you a bit difficult to find where is it, right? But this one, right click and then send to the repeater. When you send to the repeater, there are menu for repeater here. This is the repeater. You repeat again if you want, right? And then repeater tab, modify request manually, and click send. For example, then respond the raw and rectified respond later. But this one you need to try to use this test SQL injection. This is the respond later. Now no respond yet. So what you need to change here? Get login, same. Okay, now you change to this. You want to check, is it this machine or this server, the target server, exposed or vulnerable to SQL injection or not? Okay. In the main page, okay? Is it in the login.php itself? Localhost now, this one. Does the show error message revealing SQL structure or not? Until now. Because we only have very limited info now. We just test in the first place. We got AI as well. Okay. Now send. Don't have a blank line at the end. Okay, sorry. Yet, login. So they got its inspector. You can stop again. Cancel. Okay. Now I check back the login HTTP 1.1. Right. Now I try to send back. HTTP block doesn't have a blank line at the end. Okay. One more time. If they say this one, you can cancel. Okay, can go back to this push Mozilla, right? Can send back to the recruiter. Get login, HTTP. Okay, now run again. See the spawn folder. Inspector. It's now done already. So what happened? You can find the info here. So login failed, right? So this is the request, the response here. Raw, pretty, raw, and also hack. So this one, you can see they will go to the login page, main page, right? This one. Then the raw as well. What are the difference between this? So we don't have any other info, only the main page. They go back to the main page. One. What else? After this, you see, view raw here. There are no malicious or no info that we can utilize only for specific. For example, this one, the previous, we also get the previous info from previous enumeration, but this is also one of the info normally can be used to find the vulnerability, right? The server version, expiry, and so on. So we can have information also from here. That means the HTTP, okay, this web available can be accessed. And then what else you can do? Does the application show error message revealing SQL structures? No, not yet, right? Only we tried, but we did not get inside authorized user account. So that's why using this, we still didn't get it. Because the main page is considered a bit secure. Later, when we are inside the page, the form will be available. Right. And then we go to passive scanning. If you can see, there are some configuration here, passive scanning and active scanning. However, bear in your mind, in the community edition, we don't have the built-in function to select for active scanning, passive scanning. By default, you can go to the target and then you can see the scanning status here already. Scope issues. So you can identify the issue. If let's say I choose Mozilla, unlock. This one unlock here. So in the same time, when you scan here, this is passive scanning. When you have by default, the scanning will be carried out when you use your proxy as and then you put a target, right, as this one. Actually, they already scan for you automatically as a passive scanning, not the active scanning. This one only available for professional edition. That's why if let's say you have very limited time to do scanning, to do pen test, the active scanning in professional edition can help you better. But this one we cannot do it in community edition. Let's see, don't have a request here, right? We don't have active scanning, right? Only have scan here by default. Scan also disable, right? But there are scanning inside here. You can see when the target is there, right? Actually, these tools help you to scan already. So there are information about the server itself. Inside the web server, there are default folder inside. If you still remember, what are the default folder for the website or the web server? They are inside htdocs, right? You still remember? I show you. CD lang, right? Htdocs. Okay, you can see here the same structure, the same directory structure have been um, exposed in these tools. Actually, originally from the web server, the DVWA. DVWA here, this is the folder, right? Inside the folder, we have CSS, and then this is the file, info. So you can access directly the file as well. Example, login. So you can see the info here. This is what I have tried previously, right? So all the scanning by default already there. They will give you specific info where when you go through all the information, right? What will here? It has DVWA as a folder. Inside this folder, we have another folder and so on. So the manual or the passive scanning is there. So by default, passive scanning already done for you. For this one. But you did for this community edition, you don't have the active scanning. If you want to try, maybe we could try to download the free trial version for professional edition. So scan code carefully and so on lah. But here we don't have the scanning request, so the scanning also disabled, right? For community edition. So that's why you don't have the option of scanning. So what vulnerability does Burp Suite identify in DVWA? From the scanning here, you can see there are some info manually you can find about the login php.info available, right? And then the PHP version. Okay, this is the report from the target. And then for step 6, why is it 5.6? Maybe we continue a bit for this step 6 about the fuzzing. Okay, fuzzing parameter. So select request captured in proxy. There are another option as they call it intruder. Previously we are using repeater, just repeat again what we want to use, right? And then now we try to use this intruder version. Is it available or not? Oh, here. Select request, send to intruder. So intruder get this info, right? So there are multiple attacks here. You can see sniper attack, battering ram attack, pitchfork attack, cluster bomb attack, right? There are a bit different type of attacks. You can find the information about the attack later. So for example, for sniper attack, what I mean by sniper attack? They will use very specific target, okay? That's why they call it sniper. They only require one sources of file. Where is it? This one. Go back. What you need to do from here. Okay. Right, send intruder and then highlight parameter to test. Okay, this parameter, what parameter you want to test? Example lah, you use this one. Okay, host, the local host, I am using the server. So I'll use the get request, then using fuzzy for any user which with the password. Okay. But we need, in order to find in order to get the correct info, we need the word list to compare with. Okay, there are some word lists like previous this Buster Go Buster, right? We require this word list so that we can check either the username of each word list available or not with the password, right? See here what you need to do. Then you need to select type of attack. For example, the sniper, one payload position only. You only require one payload to test. Battering ram, multiple same payload. And then for pitchfork, multiple different payload and cluster bomb. There are their own product. Later, if you want to know more, you need to explore the way how each of attack will work. But now, I just want to show you example. Mark fast as a position. How to mark? Put here lah, right? Add fast as marking is payload position and load username word list. You have any username word list, you can download from any sources lah. For example, username word list. Okay, you can download from any website. Only load txt lah. Sorry. Now I'm running Burp Suite, right? I cannot download because intercepted already. So I already download. For example, maybe I can show you here in my Windows. For example, for security list, right? So you can download the list of username, top username short list, for example, right? This one 8 years ago, maybe suddenly we have more. MS SQL username, this is the common lah, common username. This one only common 17 lah. This one easy. 17 meaning easy for me to work on. Okay, so I will just download this and I will put in my shared folder. So I will share in my shared folder. Top username shortlist. Example. So that from my word list here, have top username shortlist. I put it in my desktop lah, easy, right? Very short, so very fast. If you have long or the big numbers of users you want to test, they got also many other lists. This one I just want to show what we do. Set direct match to find success pattern. Okay, and run a test. How to do this? Okay, it's fine. To see where is it? Resource. Okay, the resource here. Reload resource. Okay, this one. So I have the simple list, right? But I need to load. Where is the simple list? All plate reload position. Only one position. Simple list. I load my list from this top username short list. Only 17. Okay, easy. Okay. One, two. Oops, sorry. Correct. This one, enter. Select match. Is the setting. This one, the setting. And this one, grad match. Okay, the grad match required. Check back what you need to find success factor. Return lookout. Where is it? This one already. SQL. Success factor. Return, for example, you add lah. Dashboard. What else you normally when you successfully log in, what the indicator, right? Successful. What else? Not found. Okay. Other than that, maybe a login invalid. In login fail. Previously login fail, right? Login fail. In fail. Therefore, try to find so that it will give you some match. Okay? This extract and so on. Okay. Just to see the example here. To find success pattern and run like that. What username password combination return different status code. Okay. This one just fuzzy, and then we only have a very limited payload request, right? Only 17 simple list. Okay, it's very simple. You can try to start. Okay, you see here, demo version of included some functionality disable and so on. Like very limited edition. So you can see we start the attack. This is the thing. So this one, looking syntax, maybe you can find the comment, looking field. No. So this is response time, and we try to use this common user lah, right, for the fuzzy. Okay. This one you only test the fuzzy username. What are the username available? And then the password. You can add one more here to start again. When you put both, they will use both username password using the similar words. Okay. So that's why you can see you look to time, right? Then you can try to run other attacks as well. Suppose discard. So this one you can close first, clean up the things, and then you can rerun again. For example, what you need to do here. Login failed. Okay, because why? Doesn't work. Because we need to intersect off, go back to the intruder. To be all, then find again. What username password to return different status code. Most of it same, right? Because we don't have both username password. If you have the combination of username password file in your word list, it will be better. Try to use another payload. Okay. For example, here, then use same the payload, but a different attack. Example, battering attack. So what will be output? Try. Very fast. All status code 200 accessible, but cannot log in lah. So both can, because we are using HP user only, right? And then you can try also another type of attack, but this one normally you require um 2 or 3 payload. For example, this one fast. That means you need another one password here. For example, you can have multiple files to test. So they have combination. For example, you have payload one username, plus payload two for password, for example. But I don't have the password, common password lah. This one. So you have only limited numbers. Okay. Maybe I difficult first. I try to change some info here.